Jack, share a wedding, she trained herself in New England. And I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone. Never left to move on without him.
Hello. Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode number 49, brought to you by the Outright Geekery Podcast Network at outrightgeekery.com. Also right here on the SB Network on YouTube, where we are live streaming, hopefully live streaming with high quality, but something tells Boogie that it's low quality because I got a potato cam, but that's okay. We got Abe joining us in the live chat already, just getting rocking and rolling here. My name is Boogie Bentley.
What's going on, guys?
Dobber doesn't know how we do the intro.
Well, I'm beside you today, so I'm Dobber. What's going on?
Vols JP down on the bottom here. Man, guys, why can't things be easy? Why can't things be easy? My internet works fine all the time, and then all of a sudden it's time for Talkin VAWLS, and my internet just decides to crap out. I went straight to Target right after work, spent $150 on a cable modem or a router, on a wireless router, and it didn't fix anything. I've still got a video cam. I've still got some janky audio. So you guys listening to the live chat, I hope it's working. I hope you can at least understand what I'm saying. I don't really care about the video quality as much as the audio quality. So let us know in the live chat what's going on. We're going to try to push through. Got a tech coming out tomorrow to try to fix it. But such is life. What's going on, fellas? Are you getting excited? We got, 10 days? It's Eric Ainge Day.
Eric Ainge Day, yeah.
Yeah, Eric Ainge Day.
AJ Vick says I'm the only one kind of breaking up here. That's because I'm the host and I'm the one with the bad internet. I'm hardwired right now, so I'm directly into my modem, and it's still like this. I hope you guys can at least hear what I'm saying. I hope. Oh, man.
Thanks, DA, for this sweet hat. Yeah, I've got it Saturday. Like it a lot.
How can you hate on my hat, man? You got to love the Bucks. Timothy Bradley in the live chat says he's listening while he's packing up to move home to Tennessee. Well, welcome back to the promised land.
To the great state of Tennessee. Welcome back, Tim Bradley.
Man, we always start off these shows so slow before we get into it.
Well, we got to commit about an hour ago.
We'll talk about that. Let's go.
Mordecai McDaniel. He's supposed to be a speedster, like a track star.
Blazing speed is everything I see about him.
One thing of many that the Tennessee program has been lacking. So we'll take the speedsters for sure.
Definitely.
And then what was it, Friday? We got the big commit from BJ, Ojulari, I guess is how you pronounce his name. I mean, a huge position of need there because we need to be able to rush the quarterback for sure.
Yeah, and he and his teammate, the quarterback commit, are also working hard to pull some other guys in, shaping up to be a pretty good class, especially coming out of Georgia, which is always good.
We just need to win some football games.
That's where it starts, right? We talked about that last week. You got to win. You got to win. Let's talk about, I guess, we're going to jump right into the scrimmage. They had their second scrimmage on Saturday, final scrimmage. I think they're going to do some, game situations. But as far as the full-on scrimmage, this is the last one. But I got some notes here from it. You guys just want to jump into it, or what do you want to do? We didn't plan anything because all I spent the entire day doing is trying to fix my internet. Oh man, let's talk about the scrimmage. The main note I see what's it going to take? What's it going to take?
Go ahead,
some of the young guys are just going to have to step up. we're lacking some experience, lacking depth, especially with Gooden going down. It's really, you've got spots for guys to step right into and be an impact player, or step right into and be a liability. We're still waiting to hear from the NCAA on Solomon. I don't know. The longer we wait, the less confident I feel about it. But I don't think we can count on him being there. I mean, we're 10 days out. I think they've got to plan on other guys stepping in.
Well, Pruitt talked about that some this week. I don't remember what the time frame was. He basically said they had a plan in place that on X day, Solomon is no longer taking reps with the ones.
Well, he was today.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know if he said an exact day. But, I mean, listen, fall camp's over. You know, we're starting to move into game prep. And, I know it's Georgia State, but you got to figure out what you're going to do.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely proof that Pruitt and defense definitely feels like that defensive line is so important. I think I read today that Pruitt was working with Elijah Simmons and somebody else one-on-one. I mean, he was over there with them because Pruitt's usually with the defensive backs, but he was coaching those two up. So and the same way with Chaney with the offensive line. But I mean, that's what scares me about this year. If we didn't have all the question marks at the line of scrimmage, I'd feel a whole lot better about it. And I mean, hopefully these guys will grow up quick and they'll surprise us. But I think probably the odds are against us with that. I mean, what's going to happen if this defense can't stop the run at all? I mean, it doesn't matter if the offense is improved or anything like that. It's going to be hard to outscore folks. And, I mean, we saw it last year towards the end of the year. I mean, look what South Carolina done to us in the second half, and Missouri ran all over us and Vanderbilt ran all over us. I mean, it was like after that Kentucky game that we couldn't stop anybody on the run. So, I think one thing that Pruitt and them learned last year is that they're going to have to play a lot more defensive linemen, because last year it was pretty much Alexis Shine and Kyle Phillips that they played. And, I do feel like that there's probably, 7 or 8 guys that they're going to try to rotate in there.
But
I saw that Curart Garland, he actually came back as well, whether or not he'll be able to help or anything.
I read that today that Pruitt threw out, I think, 8 or 9 that he was going to rotate through, more than likely on the defensive line.
Yeah, and of course he's saying that on the offensive line too. And
dude,
that really scares me right there.
Yeah, what's going on with that offensive line? Because the thing coming out now, we got the O-line shuffle, which is not new, but I don't know what to expect. Tatum is going to be at tackle now, the way they're acting. What happened to Wanya Morris, locking down that left tackle spot? It doesn't sound like that's the case anymore. I don't know what's going on that offensive line.
I don't either, and it worries me. I mean, you hear people say, and kind of like that Pruitt's keeping them, him and Chaney are wanting the competition, and that's why he's shuffling folks around. And I certainly understand that that you need to cross train folks for. Because you just never know if an injury is going to happen. And honestly, I mean, we keep on hearing that Trey Smith is going to start, but I mean, the guy still hasn't had any contact yet. So, and what's going to happen if he does play and then heaven forbid those clots come back again and then he's gone. So, you've always got to prepare for that too. So, I don't have a problem with them cross training, but 10 days out, and it sounds like that we're nowhere close to, settling on 5. And I don't know. I mean, I just don't remember many really good football teams that substituted offensive linemen, freely through throughout the game. I mean, to me, that's one position that, continuity is very, very important. And I think we saw that last year. I mean, those guys didn't even know who to block. And, that's the key thing about it. But I don't know. That offensive line and the defensive line scares me. And again, like we said last week, in my opinion, that's what the difference between this team being a 6-6 team and a potential 8-4 team, because I think, talent wise, that they've got potential to be an 8-4 team other than the offense and defensive line. Talent's there. It's just, can those guys step up? And, I don't think that is from a lack of coaching. I mean, we keep on hearing every single practice report that, Chaney's in there with Friend, just dogging the offensive line and demanding more and more and more. And, we saw Pruitt with the defensive line today and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's a positive thing. At least they're not over there, dancing around and begging for Twitter followers.
Well, it's the unknowns right now that are scary. Are the young guys going to be able to step in and play? Because the way it looks, more than likely they're going to be needed. Are we going to get Trey Smith? What about Solomon? Both sides of the ball, it's just there's so many questions. They've not settled on starters. I was hoping to see a 2 deep this week. We might get it towards the end of the week. But that's going to tell us a little bit. But I really think that we are going to lean on some of these young guys, these true freshmen that are coming in, and it's either going to help us or be a liability. I think it is good for next year, but we're not worried about that right now going into week 1.
Right. Did you see? I guess you saw where Pruitt quoted his dad saying, "For every true freshman you have starting, you might as well consider that one loss on the schedule." That may be a little aggressive. I don't know. What concerns me about the offensive line, JT talking about it, how many guys they rotate through. If you had 5 solid offensive linemen, it wouldn't be an issue, right? You know who the ones are when you got 5 guys that stand out. I think that's the problem, is they don't have 5 guys that stand out. You got 2 5-star true freshmen that could be your tackles, but are they ready to go now, or is it going to take some time to develop those guys? And then you throw in a third factor to that with Trey Smith, and you don't know if he's going to be healthy. That's 3 offensive linemen that you don't know when kickoff comes if they're going to be ready to go. You don't know. It's an unknown. And maybe Jeremy Pruitt, and we don't know. But it's concerning, man, and it's concerning. J.J. Banks says here in the last, why does it seem like we cannot field a good unit on both lines of scrimmage? But it starts with recruiting, right? You got to have the horses, and I think Pruitt's when you got 2 5-stars, but you got to, man, it's tough. It's tough to throw an 18-year-old out there and expect them to be able to play on the end of the offensive line in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many teams that field true freshmen start, and a lot of them are red shirt and stuff like that. But Tennessee's not had the luxury of that. And then another part of it is a lot of these guys, probably should have never gotten a scholarship at Tennessee, because they were 260 pounds coming out of high school, and that's just not going to cut it. You just can't cut it. So I mean, it was the type of recruits that the last staff brought in, and with that, and then when they got there, they couldn't develop them. I mean, it was obvious with that. I mean, look at the 5-stars that we signed on the defensive line that never really panned out. And I know injuries has had some to do with that. We talk about Shy Tuttle and Kyle Phillips, but when you look at the offensive line, I mean, look what Drew Richmond. I mean that guy. I mean, he never developed into anything other than about getting Garantano decapitated.
We were talking about SEC speed a little bit earlier. I want to get into that. Guys, if you're just joining us, we got 20 in the live chat. do us a favor, smash that like button. That helps the analytics of YouTube. Also, you can hit share, post it out on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you get social with your media. Help us grow the live chat. I apologize, my internet is dying as we speak. I've got somebody coming to look at it tomorrow. So moving forward with Talkin Vols, that is a priority, is our quality, our audio. I take so much pride in it, and it drives me nuts. Last week we had audio issues. This week we got internet issues. I cannot stand that. I promise you we will get it fixed. But like I said, do us a favor, smash the like button and share out the link. But talking about that SEC speed, something I keep hearing, man, Callaway's balling out. And we know he's a player. We've seen that he's a player. But what does he need to get to that next level? And something that Swain talked about this week, and it was so interesting to me, is that Callaway, you know, when Pruitt came on board, they clocked everybody in 40 times. And Callaway went from a 4.6 to a 4.4. And we talk about the strength and conditioning and what it means to this program and how important it is to invest in that. And we're seeing that with Callaway going from a 4.6 to a 4.4, which I think can take him to that next level. You know, he's great going up and getting 50-50 balls, but now can he stretch the field a little more? And I think so. But this is what Swain talked about that was so interesting to me. And that's when Pruitt came on board and they clocked everybody. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. You may have heard this. If you've heard it, don't answer. If you haven't, then give me an answer. When Pruitt took over, how many guys on this football? JP's already heard this, haven't you?
Yeah.
Dobber, have you heard this?
I'm not sure.
Okay. When Pruitt took over, how many football players on this team do you think had a sub 4.6 40 time? And that's where Callaway was when Pruitt took over. He was 4.6 40. How many guys would you say on the football team had that?
Two.
Yeah, you listen to the Swain just like I do. Two.
No,
now, as of today, there are 15 on this football team that have done 4.6 40 times. 9 of those are new recruits that Pruitt. So what does that say? He's recruiting speed, which you got to have to compete in the SEC. And then 4 of those improved their 40 time from, you know, to get it underneath 4.6. And then you had 2 that were already there. That adds up to, you know, to the total. But he also talked about the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Floridas. They've got high 20s, low 30s.
30s, yeah.
As far as number of players that have that sub 4.6 40 speed. The reason I bring that up is because, man, what does that tell you? Pruitt is, number one, he's recruiting the right guys. Number 2, you got a strength and conditioning program that's taking an upperclassman and dropping 2/10 off his 40 time, which is gigantic. That's huge. So what would have happened if Callaway had come in and they could have done that his freshman year? Because that's what you should be seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to talk about that old staff, but that's just one of the many things that's hindered this program the last 10 plus years is, you know, I mean, it's just been a circus, but yeah, I mean, and you know, you really hate it for kids like that because, you know, I mean, you know that these guys have, you know, spent a lot of time and put a lot of effort into it, but they just haven't been pushed and been developed the way that, you know, that you should in a major college football program. And it's, you know, so, you know, maybe somebody like Callaway his senior year, you know, he can ball out and, you know, end up with a, you know, who knows, first round or second round draft pick and make him some money. I mean, I always thought he was a really good receiver. You know, I thought he was a good football player. I mean, he showed out what that game against Georgia Tech. I mean, you know, he was a big reason Tennessee came back and won that football game, and in 17 and stuff. But you know, of course, it's all going to depend on the offensive line again. I mean, because if Garantano is getting absolutely murdered back there, I mean, it's just not going to. It wouldn't matter if we had Jerry Rice out there. I mean, it just wouldn't matter with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about Callaway from what Swain says. You know, that him and Garantano seem to have just some awesome chemistry going right now and stuff like that. And so, you know, I would expect a really big year from him for sure.
Well, I was going to piggyback on that and say the exact same thing. I was going, it all goes down to the offensive line. And if the receivers are going to be successful, Garantano's got to have time to throw the ball. And I'm hoping Callaway does emerge, because that will give Jennings a little bit more free reign on that side of the field. They're not going to be able to bracket him or essentially take him out of the game as your number one guy, because you've got Callaway who can
We've got some talent.
Yeah.
We got some playmakers.
Oh, yeah, man. You can use Callaway to stretch the field, send Jennings across the middle, DWA up the seam. Although they said he set out the scrimmage. I wonder, they said it's minor, but I still wonder what's going on there where he can't go.
There were a couple guys that have been dinged up this week. The scrimmage, and then yesterday and today. I think Batuli was one as well that's been kind of limited duties in practice and limited reps. But the thing, and I know we keep harping on it and going back to it, it's going to be line play. We've got some talent, we've got some athletes, and I believe that Chaney and his offensive scheme is going to get the ball to those guys so long as Garantano has time to do that.
Yeah, well, just piggybacking again on you, James Gentry just said in the live chat that Chaney's offense gets the ball out fast, and so that will help the O-line out even more. I think that's a key point. We talked about last week what Chaney can do for this offense and to help that offensive line, and then also let the playmakers shine, because as JP said earlier, there's a lot of playmakers on this football team.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. I know we keep on harping on it, but we've got to find time for the offense. The offensive line is going to have to be able to block to let these guys make some plays. It's just bottom line. There's no way that this offense can be worse than it was last year. There's no way. What did we finish, like 126th out of 130?
It wasn't good.
There's no way that Jim Chaney is going to have an offense that finishes in the hundreds. There's just no way. But is it good enough for us to be able to, compensate for the other deficiencies that we have on the defensive side of the ball? We just lost Boogie.
No, I'm still here. But does that help any if I drop my camera so it's not so potatoey, or is my audio still the same?
Well, you're probably not going to run anybody off because you're so ugly with that, but
that's the main factor. I don't want to run anybody off, but I'm just wondering if it's not trying to grab my video, if it'll clear up the audio any.
Honestly, the audio sounds the same to me.
Okay.
So come back.
Sorry, guys. Again, I got a guy coming to the internet tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll be dialed in for next week's podcast. But we got 22 listening in the live chat.
You would think, Dobber, a guy that's a podcast professional would have more than dial-up internet,
Yeah.
It still does that. What can I say, though? But we've got 22 in the live chat. Do the guys, smash that like button. I can't reiterate how much that helps this podcast, this channel. It helps the analytics. It'll push this video out to more people. Smash that like button. Share out the link. And then also, I got something else you can do. This is something you guys can do that can help support the podcast. Let me find it here. We're going to get it going. We're going to share this out, and we're going to show you guys. Can you guys see this? You guys see it? Is it shared out yet?
Oh, yeah.
The Talkin VAWLS official podcast T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Limited edition.
Limited is correct. There's only 14 more days to order this T-shirt. 14 days, 4 hours, 34 minutes, and 38 seconds to be exact. If you don't order this T-shirt, it may be gone forever. What we'll do is we'll take this money made by these T-shirts and pump it right back into the podcast to grow this channel. But for $19.99, look at these colors. Everybody's ordering the heavy metal, though, and I got the heavy metal, too. I like it. This dark gray with the Talkin VAWLS logo and the microphone. You can also get it in black. I think black looks good. I really like the orange because you got the two different shades of orange, but it is what it is. You got to have an orange T-shirt for the Talkin Vols podcast T-shirt, and also white. I ordered a white one and the heavy metal. What did you guys get?
So we
I got the gray.
Got some Smoky Gray fans in.
Dude, everybody is ordering the Smoky Gray. I did. I ordered a white one and a gray one. I think everybody else has ordered a gray one.
I mean, I'll admit that's the best thing that Butch Jones ever did. I mean, those Smoky Gray uniforms, or well, at least the helmets were absolutely ridiculous.
The helmets were awesome. Sick.
Jason Reynolds told me to stop saying smash the like button. Jason, do me a favor and caress that like button, and we would appreciate it. DJ Banks says that shirt is freaking boss. Go order one right now, guys. Like I said, you only got 14 days left to order. It is a limited time only. Once the 14 days expires, we've already ordered enough T-shirts. They're going to immediately print them and ship them. It's good quality T-shirts. I've ordered from them before, so definitely jump in and check out the official Talkin Vols podcast T-shirt. I will drop the link in the description as well, but it's just bonfire.com/talkinvols. So check out that. Man, that was a fun little advertisement.
Hey, yeah. I should know this, but is there any way to like these comments?
Not in the live chat. Another thing you guys can do, once the video uploads, as soon as we stop going live, it immediately processes. Now all that live chat is gone, and so you have to come in and leave a comment. You can also do that if you leave a comment. It definitely helps us as well. You can like those, but you can't like the live chat.
You can give them. I need to answer some of these questions that these fine fans have asked us about.
Well, you got to shut me down and cut me off. I'm just going to sit here and drink a little whiskey because I'm pissed off because the internet sucks.
Jordan Young talks about, Pruitt's going to have to get his guys in here, and fan base is going to have to give him time. I agree 100%, Jordan. I mean, with the coaches that this program's had since Fulmer was fired, I mean, if you're a fan of Tennessee and you cannot see that Jeremy Pruitt is a football coach, and again, I'll say it right here, I'm not saying that Jeremy Pruitt is going to be successful.
How much whiskey you drink?
I ain't had none, but what I can tell you is Jeremy Pruitt is a football coach, and he's got a heck of a football staff down there. But like an old coach told me, you can't make chicken salad out of chicken poop. So, I mean, so he's right. I mean, we got to give him time. And, my main thing with Pruitt this year, again, is make a bowl game, and you better beat Vanderbilt. You better beat Vanderbilt. And, that's the thing with him.
Be competitive in the games you lose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But how much hype would there have been coming off of last season? Again, I know it's Kentucky, but it's the top 15 Kentucky. And then the win over Auburn. If Tennessee had taken care of business down the stretch and finished 6-6 and gone to a bowl game, how much hype would there be going into this year? It'd be so much higher. 7-5 would be the hype would be through the roof. 6-6, I think it would still be pretty high. But you're talking about developing talent, man. Look at this football team and recruits that have come in and already are getting more hype. I talked last week laughing about Pruitt, talking about starters and only JG, he was the only starter on the team. And I laughed at that, saying, look at Delonte Taylor and Bryce Thompson. Nobody's going to start over those guys, blah, blah, blah. Most half you hearing about Warren Burrell, and he's going to give somebody a push for that starting corner position. And what was he? What was he? Was he even a 4-star?
Warren, yeah, I think so.
4-star?
Yeah. I think he was.
But I would have never penciled him in to start over Taylor or Thompson.
No, and I don't think he's going to.
He's pushing him. He's pushing him.
Well, which is good. I mean, that's what we want. We talked about it last week. I mean, when these guys walk in as a true freshman and they're the best thing that's on the team because the rest of the talent's lacking. I mean, that's why that, maybe that the offensive line maybe is not as bad as we seem because they're wanting to push these guys. And, it's part of it. And I think that's probably what Pruitt's doing with him. But, I mean, injuries happen and, we're going to need more than just Taylor and Bryce Thompson out there. I mean, we all know it. I mean, Lord, Taylor got ejected twice last year for targeting. So, I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen this year. But that somebody from Tennessee is going to get thrown out of a game for that stupid rule that they've got in place.
What do you think about, maybe this is me just playing some old school NCAA football and I plug the best person into the position I want, but Taylor and Thompson are, if they're locked in a corner and we're hearing all this hype about Burrell and then Buchanan's hurt, saying he may never play football again, Schamberger's always in the doghouse. How hard would it be to plug Burrell into that nickel spot or star, whatever it is that Pruitt calls it?
Yeah, I mean, supposedly that's what Schamberger's they're saying. That he's kind of locked that down.
I know, but if Burrell's got all this hype and Schamberger's always in trouble for his efforts in practice, I'm just saying, how hard would it be for a guy like Burrell to take that spot?
I mean, the main thing about a star position is you got to be a pretty good tackler. I mean, that's very important in defense that Pruitt wants to run. And I think the VolQuest guys were talking about that the other day, talking about would you really play somebody that maybe has the mental bust versus somebody that's kind of steady? I think they were talking about Balin Buchanan last year, and that he never really made any special plays, but he didn't have the mental bust out there per se. So I mean, I think that Warren Burrell will play a lot. I hope he does. But I think he's more of hopefully that he's more of just a fill-in guy for if ever Thompson or Taylor or even Schamberger needs a break or something like that. Like you just said earlier, and what Pruitt said, for every true freshman that you start, he says that's a loss. So, I mean, I think a lot of that's coach speak too. So,
oh yeah, 100%. We got to get Dobber back in there. So I'm gonna lob this softball up to him and see what he says. We got B. Adams in the live chat asking about J.J. Peterson. We also got J.J. Banks saying, who do you guys think will start at linebacker? You think Henry T earns a starting spot? How about J.J. Peterson? So I'm going to throw that up to you, Dobber. What do you think? Man, it feels like J.J. Peterson was the Solomon of last season. That's all we talked about is J.J. Peterson getting a chance to play, and now he's been irrelevant. So I'm going to lob that one up to you. Who do you think starts at linebacker? Your thoughts on Henry T as well as J.J. Peterson?
I don't think Henry T starts until mid-season if he breaks the starting lineup.
Henry T?
Yeah. What do you think? You think he goes in?
I think he's a day one starter.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Ooh,
I think he's day one starter.
Could be. I don't know. Batuli's the man in the middle. I think the questions are who's going to be beside him.
Taylor's going to be out there.
Yeah.
He's had a quiet camp, man. Nobody's talking about him. But you would think he would be the big dog everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that might not be a bad thing. Not a lot of good, not a lot of bad coming out, and then come out in the season and just light it up.
Reynolds says Henry starts day one.
I think he does too. I don't see nobody else beating him out.
I know we're going to have freshmen play, but I don't want them too much too quick. But we've got – I know the BYU game, the second game, is going to be more of a test than anything else, but we've got until the end of September to really kind of figure things out, which is good. And hopefully these first three games we are – over and done before halftime and getting some of these young guys quality minutes in games because the speed changes. But then the speed is going to change again September 21st against Florida. It goes into another gear. You hit conference play, you hit conference rival. It's completely different. I I'm not rooting against Henry T. I mean, if he's the best one to be out there, put him out there. Let him go.
I mean, who else? Who else do you put? You put Ignat out there, or what? Shannon Reed. I mean,
And I'm not, one of those guys. Oh, they're an upperclassman. They have to be the one to start. No, it needs to be the ones that prove it on the practice field. We've just all we've seen is limited media access practice and some quotes from a few coaches. We'll know more after the Georgia State game. I'm holding out judgment on that. Like I said, I'm not rooting against him. If he's a starter that game and continues all year, great. If he's not, he's definitely got the talent, and I believe this coaching staff will develop him. I think we're done with the days of guys coming in with such a high ceiling and plateauing. I think they're going to be coached up. They're going to be mentored. They're going to grow both physically and with their game knowledge. These guys that were in the program under the previous staff, they had such a disservice done to them. I mean, you look at the guys that were there that have gone to other schools and excelled and had success. Look at Peterman. I mean, he leaves Tennessee, goes to Pitt, and sets records, develops, progresses as a quarterback, makes the league, although he's not done much there. You look at these other guys that transferred out for whatever reason that go elsewhere and have – look at Hurd. Transfers out, goes to another program, excels at a different position. Kamara couldn't even sniff the field until all the drama with Hurd. And then, I mean, just such a dynamic player. You can't tell me that wasn't seen on the practice field. I mean, and JP said it earlier, I hate to keep dogging the former staff, but I think we have to, because that is what put us where we are right now. And that's the hole we're digging out of right now. Recruiting, depth-wise, it's a thing that, like we said earlier, Pruitt's got to have time. And it is these younger guys that, Henry T, if he starts, that's great. But progress, grow that talent so we're developing and not just, flatlining guys getting by on their natural abilities.
Well, I mean, I think Henry T starts. I think our linebackers for the Georgia State game is Darrell Taylor, Batuli, Henry T, and DeAndre Johnson. I think that's for supposedly DeAndre Johnson's played well. And that'd be huge if we could get some productivity out of him. I mean, he showed flashes last year. He got a sack against Auburn, that big sack that I think on fourth down that they turned the ball over there that one time there in the third or fourth quarter. So, if we could get some production out of him, because, anytime that you're rushing the quarterback and you're putting pressure on them, as Tennessee fans know, because, Lord, we've seen our quarterbacks get absolutely destroyed, makes that defense a whole lot better. So, what you guys' thoughts about JJ? I know there's been a lot of people talking about that. I mean, he's like, it's like the one guy that everybody keeps on talking about, and everybody's claiming he's going to be a bust, or there's a lot of people saying, that he's going to be a bust. What concerns me about him is I'm just not convinced that he has the work ethic. It just seems like signs of that.
Even when, we were talking about, when's he going to be eligible? When's he going to be eligible? He never looked in shape, man. He didn't look like he was never looked like he was putting in the work to even try to play. Whereas you got Solomon out here, and everything you see, it seems like he's chomping at the bit to get on that football field and make plays. And I don't want to talk bad about J.J. Peterson, but what have we seen to prove otherwise? I mean, we don't have a whole lot to go on. I mean, he's not really shown anything. And I think he's been recruited over, and at this point, as much as I'd say, I think he's going to be a non-factor at the University of Tennessee. That's just my opinion. And I hope I'm wrong, man. I hope I'm wrong, and he finds his way on the field, and he balls out, and we love the guy. But I don't see it happening.
I mean, it's a good problem to have a lot of names that were thrown out that could play and could be impact players. But like you said, Boogie, it's almost like he has been recruited over. We'll see in a couple weeks, though.
And I can't wait. I'm so sick of practice. I'm so sick of watching highlights. I'm so sick of listening to the 2-minute drill, and they tell us we only got to see some drills. We didn't get to see any real action, blah, blah, blah. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm over and ready to see him hit somebody else in the mouth. Even if it's Georgia State, I don't give a damn. I'm ready to see him hit somebody. J.J. Banks in the live chat says, what do you guys think about Roman Harrison? I think he's going to surprise this year. Hearing good things. And maybe that's because I listen to the Swain event every day. But he is really hyping up Roman Harrison. So I hope you're right. And I think he may surprise the people this fall.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that we need to remember as fans about Roman Harrison is, he played defensive line. I mean, he was like a nose tackle for his high school team. So, he's having to learn a whole new position at the highest level of college football in the toughest conference in college football. So, the thing about him is, can the coaching staff find a niche for him? I mean, could he be, like our third down rushing specialist, when it's 3rd down and 7, and it's obvious passing down or something like that, can we depend on him to put him in, pin his ears back, and try to get to the quarterback? I think that's probably that we can hope from this year. But hopefully that he'll develop into a 3-down outside linebacker, because from everything they say, I mean that kid is like stacked. I mean, he's absolutely built, and supposedly has a heck of a work ethic and a motor on him. So, all of those things are positive. I think it's just, with somebody like him that, is learning a whole new position. I mean, the same way with Quavarius Crouch, I mean, we're hearing some really good things about him. It's just that he's never really played that outside backer position much. So, and I wouldn't surprised to see him play some defensive end some. Really wouldn't. I could see them using him and Harrison both in those type of roles.
Jason Reynolds brings up another good question in the live chat. He thinks the defense is going to be fine. He's worried about JG holding the ball too long and not looking off defenders. And yeah, the offensive line struggled last year, and JG was running for his life a lot. But another big downfall for him was he held on to the football too long. What do you think about that, Dobber? What do you think?
Well, that's what I said last week. My biggest knock on him is he holds the ball and he locks in on one guy. He's got to go through his progression and not just zero in on one receiver.
But we all probably would if we had 300-pound missiles coming at us, unabated right to the quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, I get what Jason Reynolds is saying. I get what you're saying, Dobber. But until this offensive line proves that they can block somebody, I mean, I'm not putting it on Garantano.
Oh, no, I wasn't either. But the times that he did be able to go back and set his feet, he zeroes in on one guy, and that's when a lot of his mistakes are made, because he's not scanning the field. He's locked in on and forcing the ball. But I think he's going to benefit from Chaney and Chaney's play calling and his schemes. Again, we go back to the offensive line, though. We're going to have to set up the run and be able to run the ball successfully to be able to keep the defense honest and allow the guys on the outside, Callaway and Jennings and Woods Anderson, to stretch the field and give him receivers to throw to.
On the flip side of that, though, Chaney just this week was talking about the wide receiving core and what he expected of them and how he was going to utilize them. And he said he expected to use them a lot more on early downs to set up the run. So it's almost the opposite of that. Can he? I forget who said it in the live chat earlier that Chaney gets the ball out quick to the playmakers, let them make plays, and then you can set up the run off of that. A lot of people just spin it backwards, but you can utilize the pass game to set up the run game as well. So I'll be interested to see if he does that.
All right, absolutely. Whatever keeps the defense honest and on their toes, that's the thing. And his schemes, they change, and he adapts to what's working and what is successful. If he's got a guy with a hot hand or is running the ball well, he's going to feed them and use them. It's not a case of we come out in the first quarter and we're we've got a receiver with 3 receptions and 60 yards, and then they never see the ball again the rest of the game. He charts that stuff, and he's going to see, okay, they can't cover Jennings right now. How can I get him the ball? It all comes down to the offensive line, though, running or passing. We've got to be able to open up the holes, and we've got to be able to keep the pass rush off JG.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what Chaney keeps on harping on, and Pruitt, is this offensive line has to be physical, and does that mean whoever is more physical, maybe they're not the most gifted, maybe they're not maybe the best agile or pass blocker, but are they going to get in there and just try to start mauling people, and just being physical? That's what it appears to be that Chaney's after there, and setting that tone and have that identity that and I mean, how many years have we sat here and talked about this Tennessee team unable to gain that 3rd down and 1 or 3rd down and 2, either to put a game away or extend a drive and stuff like that. And I mean, that's what good football teams do, and that's what successful football teams do.
What's going to happen when it's 3rd down and 1 or 4th down and 1, and everybody in the stadium knows that you got to run the football? Can Tennessee run the football?
Yeah, and at that point in time, it's just man on man, strongest, biggest, and who wants it more? I mean, that's what it boils down to there. And I mean, hopefully that we've gotten stronger and bigger, but it still concerns me because I'm just not convinced that we got some players on that offensive line that just has that mentality. And that's why I said last week that, to me, the most important player on offense this year, outside of Garantano, is Trey Smith, because I think that he sets that mentality. And, I think him being an upperclassman now and, everything that he's been through, I mean, I would think that, the rest of those linemen would be like, man, if he's out here doing this, then, I'm going to do everything I can. So, that's what that I would think, with those guys. But that's why I think it's so important if we can get Trey Smith healthy and he can play guard, because that's his natural position. And, hopefully that's where he'll play in the NFL.
But I just said it last week. If you got Trey Smith playing healthy at guard, you got 2 5-star offensive tackles, and you got Kennedy coming back at center, that has the potential to be a solid offensive line. But you got to see what happens. We don't know that. We've not seen enough of Kennedy to know. The 2 freshman 5-star offensive tackles are unknowns. You don't know what they're going to do, but the potential is there. Tennessee Ball Niner in the live chat says, how is our main? Our main's doing well. Him and his wife just moved to South Carolina. We did reach out to him, said, hey man, your spot at the table is still there if you want to come back. He just said he was too busy right now, but guess what? We can have 4 on here. So if he decides to come back, his spot at the table is still here. So if he wants to do that, he can. We got 21 listening in the live chat. Do us a favor, gently press that like button. You don't have to smash it. You can just press it. You can click it. You can hit it. You can do whatever you want. It does help the analytics of YouTube. Share out the link on social media. And if you really, really want to help this podcast, we do have the official. There's no unofficial, but we do have the official Talkin Vols podcast T-shirt available at bonfire.com/TalkinVols. The link is in the description. For $19.99, you can help spread the word about the Talkin Vols podcast. They've got this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dark heavy gray T-shirt, but everybody seems to love the heavy metal, not to be confused with smoky gray Talkin Vols T-shirt. I do like the black T-shirt myself, and they have a nice white Talkin Vols T-shirt. Just keep it so fresh and so clean. You can pick it up again at bonfire.com/TalkinVols. All the links are in the description. So jump down there and check it out. It is not going to be around forever. It is a limited time, only 14 more days to order. Once the order is fulfilled, it will be shipped, and then that's it. That is it. You cannot represent Talkin Vols anymore moving forward. So check it out, bonfire.com/TalkinVols. Dobber, where do you want to take this conversation? We're going to wrap it up here shortly. Anything else you want to add to this before we get out of here?
I'm just excited. I mean, it's single digits tomorrow. Next week is game week. So, like you said, let's get practice over with. Let's get to the games, and then we're going to know a little bit more, and we can see some of these new guys. I'm excited. The future's bright. It's a different level of talent that is coming in. You can just, it's obvious. You see the guys coming in, they're bigger. The point that you brought up earlier about speed, they're quicker. And I think it translates more to SEC football. I know we've been behind in recruiting. We've had a drop off. That's where depth has hurt us the last little bit. The development hasn't been there, but I think these are all issues that Pruitt is correcting. The staff he's put together, it's obvious that's a priority, is to bring in quality coaches who can develop the talent that is recruited in. So yeah, I'm excited for kickoff. We've got I think Miami and Florida.
Oh man, I hope Miami drills them into the ground.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Florida? All that drama going on down there, man. But Florida somehow, some way, always seems to find a way to win football games, man. No matter what's going on around that program.
I just still can't believe that their preseason 8th or 9th. I mean, it really surprised me. I mean, I know that they went 10-3 last year, but I don't know. I mean, they got some serious depth issues. What was it? Simonton on VolQuest claimed that they were only going to be traveling 60 players to Orlando Saturday for that game.
Hey,
I mean,
quick shout out to Mastodon Comic and Collecting. This is cool. I know nobody else will think this is cool. You guys are all Vols since you're not comic book readers, but I do another show on this channel, Comic Cast. We do weekly comic reviews every week, and Mastodon Comics and Collecting has a comic book review channel, and he stumbled upon our channel through a mutual friend that's now on our panel. And I had a Tennessee hat on one day, and we're talking comic books, and he's like, "Dude, I love that hat. Go Vols!" And now here he is for talking Vols. So Mastodon, thanks for jumping in. Jason Reynolds says, "Go Vols, love podcast." We got 20 listeners in the live chat. I just want to ask you guys, seriously, jump in this live chat right now. Something we're talking about doing is tailgating with Talkin Vols. What does that mean? We can put 6 little windows up on this channel. All I got to do is send you guys a link. You have Twitter or a Facebook. I can send you a link. You can come on to Talkin Vols. It's not going to be a podcast. It's not going to be anything. It's just going to be a conversation that we're going to broadcast out on YouTube. Tailgating with Talkin Vols for a small fee. You drop us a super chat, a couple of bucks just to say thanks. We'll bring you on. Get a live chat. Let us know if that's something you would be interested in. Would you like to come on Talkin Vols and tailgate, hang out? It's going to be usually an hour before kickoff. Not every week. It's just something we're throwing around. But we can drink a few beers and shoot the bull before kickoff. But jump in the live chat. Tell us if you're interested or not. If you're not, we're not going to waste our time, man. It's hard enough to put 2 shows out. You guys demanded more content, so we are committed to 2 shows a week going through the 2019 football season. But if you want to tailgate with Talkin Vols, let us know in the live chat. We're about to wrap it up, JP. What do you think? You got anything else?
Oh, man, it's my favorite time of year. I mean, right now it is. I mean, you know, I just love this time of year. Looking forward to Saturday, sitting down and watching hopefully the Hurricanes absolutely destroy the Gators. You know, I mean, I mean, this is it. You know, I mean, this is my passion. You know, I mean,
that's what this podcast is, man. It's 3 dudes that have a passion for Tennessee football. We've missed. Listen, all 3 of us. Have you ever missed a wedding for Tennessee football?
Oh yeah,
I have. Have you ever missed a birthday party for Tennessee football?
Definitely.
Yeah, I have. Major
family reunions.
Yep, everything. You sacrifice so much for something that they're really not giving anything back to you. It's just something that you that's us, man. It's 3 dudes that love Tennessee football. And I think that everybody in this live chat right now, 21 people listening live to 3 dudes that just love Tennessee football, I see that same passion in these people. James Gentry. I see you in our comments. I see you in our live chat. JJ Banks. He's here every week. You guys have that same passion, and that's why we're here.
Yes, the hat come from Alumni Hall, Knoxville and Turkey Creek. Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I absolutely love it, you know, and I don't know why I do. I mean, I've grown up with it. My dad got me into it when I was little. I mean, you know, I can remember, you know, being 6 years old and listening to John Ward and Bill Anderson. You know, I remember, you know, really my first game that I really remember really watching is the '85 Sugar Bowl and absolutely destroying Miami. And, you know, I mean, I've just been hooked. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just a passion. I love it. I'd give nothing more than to see Tennessee become, you know, competitive again. I mean, there's so many Georgia and Bama fans, and you know, Georgia I don't even really consider because I mean, you know, I mean, even Butch Jones beat them, so you know. But I mean, can you imagine the day that the Vols beat Bama again in football? I mean, can you imagine?
It's sad that you're saying that because
Tennessee fans will absolutely destroy the internet that day. I mean, like social media will probably have to be shut down. Because I mean, it is. I mean, Tennessee is passionate, and yeah, we probably are a delusional fan base, you know. But I mean, It's just awesome. I
Well,
mean,
listen. You get that way though when 10 wins is common. You know, we kind of took that for granted.
Yeah, we did.
As we were growing up. It was common. 10 wins was not successful. You know, it was just norm. You know, it was norm to win out in November. You know, those games weren't ever in doubt. Yeah, same thing for me, JP. You know, I remember growing up sitting with my grandfather and my dad watching games, all the way up through actually going to UT, being a student, being in the stands. It's just once it gets you, it's something, and it is just it's different. You know, I like the NFL. I follow some teams, some players in the NFL, but there's just something different about UT football. You know, I'm a Braves fan. I like the Braves. Played baseball from second grade all the way up through high school. But, you know, I don't get as fired up for baseball as I do Tennessee football. There's just something, you know, Boogie and I had the opportunity to go down to watch the Preds play a couple years ago. Absolutely amazing. So cool. But I don't know that it's up there with Neyland. I mean, it's close. It was very cool. But being in Neyland is just it's something that's cool. I can't wait until I take my son to his first game. He's been to an orange and white game. He's been to a couple other things, but I'm really looking forward to sharing that with my son and my two girls. They'll get a game as well, but it's special. And
it's a special place, man. There's nothing like it. And I think the perfect way to wrap this podcast, I thought about this earlier today. You guys go down memory lane, man. I've got chill bumps on my arms. I'm not going to lie, man. Both of y'all talk about it. It just fires me up, man, because we get it. We all get it. It's a special place. So to wrap this thing up, what I want to ask, and I hope the live chat will jump in here too. You guys flood this live chat. Everybody that's in here, answer this question. I'll start with you, JP, and Dobber can go, and I'll wrap us up. Favorite Vol of all time and why? And I want you to get detailed. Tell me why. What makes this one guy special? Favorite Vol of all time, JP.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's
I can go first if you want me to go first. And let you guys think about it. I can, because mine's a no-brainer. It's not even a question. I know who my favorite Vol of all time is.
Man, I got several of them.
Nope. One.
You go first.
It's the first memory I ever have watching UT football, and that's Andy Kelly. He will always be my quarterback, because my first memories of watching football are being a kid and watching Andy Kelly quarterback the UT Vols. And I can, you know, when you're young, you just have these just little memories that you can remember. Just little, like that first day of kindergarten, I can remember. What happened the rest of the year, I have no idea. But I can specifically remember Andy Kelly being the quarterback of Tennessee, even though I was so young. And he will forever and always be my favorite Vol. Was he the best quarterback in Tennessee football history? No. But he'll always be my favorite, man. Andy Kelly. Love that guy. That's all I got, man. It's you, Dobber. We'll let JP go last. He's got to think about it.
I mean, there are a lot that I could go with. Jason Reynolds brings up Al Wilson. Yeah, dude, Al Wilson, Raynoch Thompson, those guys on the defense, just, oh man, so fun to watch. Leonard Little was another one. Oh man, just so intimidating. And that picture of him standing over the Auburn guy laying down, just
one of the greatest moments in football history captured on a camera.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Carl Pickens. I loved, growing up as a kid. I was out playing. I always tried to. I'm Carl Pickens. The and, him and Bill Carter, those guys, I really enjoyed watching them play. And then you go to some of these other guys the last couple of years that I always think it's funny to look back once a player graduates or leaves at how overlooked they were and underappreciated they were while they were playing. Dobbs comes to mind right off bat.
Casey
Clausen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, so negative on them, downing them any chance they get. But then when they leave, you see, man, they were good. We're gonna miss them.
I've said that so many times throughout Dobbs' career. I said it through Casey Clausen's career too. They were special guys that people didn't acknowledge or appreciate it.
Well, you look at Clausen's record on the road. I think he lost 2 games as a starter, something like that. Just insane numbers that he put. You look at T. Martin on the road against South Carolina, setting the consecutive completion record. Stuff that you don't see, and it's just Tennessee football is special. And like you said, Boogie, I think everybody watching right now, they get it, and it's something cool, and it's a common bond. I've been in airports and had orange on. Always try to represent with my orange, and somebody from across the way, yeah, go Vols. It's a distinct, beautiful color, and there's only one real orange. My in-laws, I've shipped plenty of orange over to them in Scotland, and they're repping over there. My father-in-law will ask me how games are, how the team's going. It's really cool. So who you got, Boogie?
I already picked mine. Eddie Kelly. It's JP's turn. Poured my heart and soul out to you. You just ignored it.
Dang, it's so hard for me to pick one. Gosh, I'm gonna say Heath Schuler. I was a young teenager when Schuler was down there, and I loved his game. I remember watching that game against Georgia. I think it was in 92, and nobody gave us a chance at all to win that game, and we went down there between the hedges and beat them. It was just an awesome game to watch, and he played lights out, and Heath Schuler was an awesome quarterback. So he was certainly one of my favorites growing up. Gosh, Chuck Webb, such an awesome running back. I was actually at the Pacific game in 1990 when he tore his ACL, and nobody knew at that time that he would never be the same again, and stuff like that. Dale Carter, I was at that game at Florida or at Neyland in 1990 when 7-3 at halftime, and he runs that opening kickoff back. Great return for a touchdown, and Tennessee goes on to absolutely drill Florida, I think 45-3. Those guys, those are the guys. And then, Al Wilson, Leonard Little, Raynaud Thompson, who can't say Peyton Manning? Look at what Peyton Manning's done for the university, and, just an awesome pro career. So, it's really hard for me. You got Eric Berry too. I love me some Eric Berry. That guy was just a tremendous fall. So it's really, really hard for me to just say who my favorite player is. I could actually say that, darn Philip Fulmer. You could argue that Fulmer's done more for that football program than any one person other than General Neyland. So with that, and probably all-time favorite Vol is probably John Ward, who never even played a darn down.
Oh, John Ward, yeah.
Yeah, and they're saying Dobbs and Barnett. Certainly. Derek Barnett was an absolute beast.
Willie Willie Styles is in the live chat. What's up, Willie? I never thought you'd ever show up in this live chat claiming Witten. You know what? I love Witten until he put on that puke blue and went to Dallas. Then he lost all my respect.
Yeah, I know it. I know. I hate that because, man, I could be such a huge Witten fan, which I mean, I like him, and certainly, especially being from Elizabeth and local and stuff like that. But yeah, when he went to Dallas, being a diehard Redskin fan like I am, that just, well,
I never pulled for him to make a catch after he went to Dallas. Lost all respect for that guy.
Yeah. But hey, there's one thing I want to say, and I don't want to end this on a somber note, but we lost two really, really special people that tailgated with us for the last 10 plus years this year. So Neyland is not going to be the same without Tom and Norman for sure. So I don't want to end it on a somber note, but I wanted to give a shout out to them. It was always fun hanging out with them and talking about the Vols.
Good people that welcome you whether they know you or not. I can say that firsthand. They welcomed anybody and everybody at their tailgate. But thanks for ending it on a somber note. What the heck?
I meant to say it last week, and I totally forgot about it. I got done. I told Brandy, I was like, crap. I said, I meant to give a shout out to Tom and Norman both, but it didn't happen. So I hate to end it on that. I mean, we can talk about something else.
Man, we still got
all right. Score predictions for this weekend. Gators and Hurricanes.
Oh, the Gators, Hurricanes. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. We can change directions here. Dobber, you got to go first, buddy.
Oh man. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Miami 17, Florida 20.
Wait, you did that backwards. So you're picking Florida.
Backwards, yeah.
Florida I was throwing you off right there.
You know what I always do every time we make picks? I take Tennessee to beat Florida. So I'm gonna pick Florida to win by 3 also, because that means Miami's going to win, and it's going to be awesome.
All right, JP, you're up.
I'm up. What did you say, Boogie? You said Florida was going to win, but that means Miami by 3. I'm confused.
I picked Florida to win by 3 because every time I pick Florida to win or Florida to lose, they really win.
Gotcha.
Psychology.
He's
totally lost
playing opposite day.
I was totally lost on that one.
All right, man.
I'm going.
My internet was so crappy you couldn't hear me.
I'm going full homer on this one. I'm sure they'll probably be about 17 Miami fans there. Because their fan base is so great. But so I'm gonna say Hurricanes 27, Gators 24. I really hope that Miami beats them. I'd give nothing more to see that happen. Because nothing more than to see Florida implode this year and finish outside the top 25. And who knows, by the time that game rolls around, if we beat BYU, I guarantee you that I'll be picking our Vols to win. There's no doubt. I'll be drinking the orange Kool-Aid. I was already about talked into it. I talked to a buddy of mine, TR, last week, and he was telling me how Tennessee was going to beat Florida this year and all the reasons. He has some valid points, so we'll see.
That's why they play the games.
That's right. And let's hurry up and get it going, because these next nine days are going to drag on forever. It seems like
it does, man. It does. We still got 20 you guys lurking around here. We appreciate it. How can you help before we close out? You can smash the like button. You can come back after we close out this video and leave us a comment. Let us know your predictions on the Miami and Florida game. There is a link in the description of how you can pick up your official Talkin VAWLS t-shirt. Once it's gone in 13 days, whatever it is, it's gone forever. So be sure to get in there and order a t-shirt. We'll be back every Wednesday, 7 p.m. That's the schedule. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., we're going to preview the upcoming games. So next Wednesday, JP, you will be out of town? You're good next Wednesday.
I'm good I'm good next Wednesday. Yes,
Okay.
the 28th.
It's the Wednesday after. Regardless, every Wednesday, 7 p.m., we will be here to do a pre-show, whether it's 2 of us or 3 of us. Post-game show is going to be a little different. It will depend. We will update you guys and try to let you know on the Wednesday show what time. The plan right now, next Wednesday, 7 p.m., we will be here. Next Saturday, after the Georgia State game, we will go live immediately following the game. We can't give you a time, but the second game ends, we're going to come downstairs, we're going to hook up the laptops, and we're going to go live, and you guys are going to get emotional talking Vols. So, Comics Mix explain. What's up, Jason? I know you're in here spying on us, buddy. I can't wait to talk comics with you on Sunday. Let's get a wrap up for Talking Vols, episode 49 for Vols JP and Dobber Greer. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.